good tea. Nice house.
Would you make me some of that Plomeek soup?
Hello and welcome to Plomeek Teatime number 37. I'm here today with Scotty R37.
Yay!
How are you doing today?
I am super jazzed to be here on the 37th Plomeek Teatime.
Right, the R37th. We're here to look at the film Excalibur, and I thought it was a beautiful film with a very simple story that at the same time had some complex philosophies sometimes.
Well, are you familiar with the Arthurian legend in general, Jill?
In general, I don't think you could be alive and not have heard of Arthur and the stone and the sword and the Knights of the Round Table. If anything, if at the very least, if you're completely uncultured like I am, you have at least seen it parodied on Looney Tunes.
Sure. Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Sword in the Stone, the Disney movie, which I've never seen, but I know that it is about a boy who pulls a sword out of a stone.
Yes, that's correct. And Merlin is also there in that movie, and they clean up. They have a little cleanup montage. He has that magic.
A lot of chores being done in Disney movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cinderella does all the cleaning up. Snow White's basically hired by the workers of a local mine to clean up. Merlin uses magic to clean up.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have some chat with us today. Hello to Admiral Teague.
Ahoy.
He says, a line from the beginning of the movie, "The land from here to the sea will be yours if you enforce the king's will." I'm not going to deliver it the way he does. Phantom Boomer says, this is one of my favorites. Always been interested in Arthur legends. And Stark of Iron's also here.
Ahoy.
Hello to Bird of Prey 5, Kapla.
Kapla.
And Stark of Iron says, Lady in the Lake or Loch?
It's Scottish for lake.
Lancelot Trials. I see. I don't know Irish or Scottish.
Gaelic.
Yeah. You guys are going to have to teach me this stuff. I have a very rudimentary knowledge of all of this. Admiral Teague says director John Boorman stayed on set continuously for weeks because they filmed a good deal of this on his estate.
True. And the amount of people from John Boorman's family as well. They, when referring to this with Warner Brothers or Orion, they would refer to this as the Boorman Family Project because of so many people.
From his family in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I didn't realize that. Bird of Prey 5 says, I learned most about it from Stargate SG-1. That's right. Near the end of Stargate SG-1, they were running out of ideas, and they decided, hey, let's talk about Arthur and everything and bring in actors from Farscape. It was fun. A little bit. There was a dragon. But Stargate was better in the earlier seasons before Lancelot came around. I don't remember if Lancelot was in Stargate. Hello to Daniel's Hot Topics.
Hey, Daniel.
And Admiral Teague says this is the most empowering movie. And Tony says, pretty versed in the lore of Pendragon. Well,
Pendragon.
You know what? If you I think you have a, don't you have a link? I don't know if he does. Let me go see. I'm checking my Twitter.
For sure.
I'm just going to send it to him directly.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, and this is a first time viewing. I saw Phantom Boomer said that this was one of his favorites. This is actually first time I ever watched it was last night. I've been doing sort of a journey through fantasy films and fantasy fiction because I've never adopted it, never thought I liked it, always more of a sci-fi guy. And basically because I have an incredible distaste for the Lord of the Rings, and I thought, well, instead of dismissing an entire genre based on one trilogy, I wanted to watch some more fantasy stuff. And this one was definitely at the top of the list, but I didn't get around to it till last night.
Yes, this is part of your journey to watch more magical things. And the funny thing is, this movie doesn't have a whole lot of magic, but what magic it does have is very integral to the plot.
Yeah, it almost seems like the magic is sort of grounded in the reality of the situation, and it is a gritty realism that that Excalibur does sort of show. Although
Yes,
there are a couple of anachronisms in here as well.
I wouldn't expect anything less, but the magic itself, you say it's being realistic. I kind of felt that too because Merlin says that his kind are going away because I guess Christianity's taken over and now magic is going to head on out for you know, I don't know how exactly to put it. It's very
Well, it's a
it brings up religion.
transition from the pagan to the age of man and the worship of Christ.
Mhm. And so you can imagine maybe there used to be all this magic, but now it's confined to just one being can only have the magic now.
Well, it makes for less petty squabbles so long as everybody believes in one deity as opposed to the paganism of sort of Mother Earth. What is, and that again, that's something that the movie sort of says. What is the dragon? And it's almost like the Force.
I kept waiting for an actual dragon, but no, there was none.
I was too. I was expecting a dragon.
But no, the dragon is everywhere and everything, and the dragon is the Force.
Yes. Excalibur.
Admiral Teague says, yeah, this movie put an Irishman on the throne of England, and people love that. Oh, and Sir Anthony Stark is joining us today. Hello.
Hello. I hear you need a person that is well versed in the lore of the Pendragon.
You're sure. And Excalibur was made in 1981, directed and co-written by John Boorman. And, of course, based on the Arthurian legend.
Mm-hmm.
Also written, besides Boorman, also written by Roscoe Pallenberg. With the score by Trevor Jones.
Well, and apparently this was the consolation prize because Boorman was going to be making a Lord of the Rings movie. And a script was completed that combined all three books of the Lord of the Rings. And it was turned in, and then they were like, "No, we don't have the money for that. But if you want, you can do a Merlin movie." And he was like, "All right."
Well, yes, because it was important to his childhood, so that worked out for him. But it was a disappointment to Tolkien because he wanted to see his work put in live action, and he was just hoping that nobody was going to do an animation. And so as soon as he was lost, that's exactly what they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was afraid that they was going to take the route that Disney did, like with the Sword and the Stone.
In particular.
And I've never seen the Bakshi Lord of the Ring because I don't care for the
Actually, I haven't either. I've only seen The Hobbit, which I really loved, but I haven't seen the animated Lord of the Rings yet.
Nice. Almost seems like a special feature, though. If you pop it in, it's much shorter than the trilogy, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But we do get, oh my stars, the battles, the fighting, the very visceral and clunky and heavy, and a lot of violence.
I hear they didn't choreograph any of the fights. They're just all improvised, like everybody's at a Renaissance fair.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Actually, we are getting into Renaissance Festival season, and I kind of want to go to a Renaissance Festival and dress up like a person from Star Trek and pretend I had beamed down to a medieval planet and see how long it takes to get kicked out.
That's been done.
Hey, I didn't say it was original. It just looks fun.
I've seen Yodas at Ren fairs. I've seen
But
Jedi.
that doesn't make sense.
Well, the best result for that would be if temporal police come for you while you're at the Renaissance Festival.
They'd have to show up later in like a Voyager minivan. And a truce, we meet at the river. And we get Gabriel Byrne in a very early role. A lot of star-making turns in this film. Well, not star-making,
Gabriel Byrne.
introductions.
Holy moly!
Yeah.
And but this is really just a very simple film, but it
The
has-
lock.
The Lady
What?
of the Lock.
Oh, the lake. Oh, okay. That word again. The lake. I know her as Lady of the Lake.
Only one is worthy to hold it.
Is that what it is? Is that there? It's only
The Lady
Only
of
a
the Lock will
Pendragon?
give the sword to that which would be the true king.
but he doesn't. She doesn't do that at the beginning of the movie.
No, they
She-
changed that.
She has a middleman.
Yeah.
And that's
Which is cool.
Merlin.
Yes. Hey, Mr. Brown's Alliance is here.
Merlin's doing whatever he wants to do, to meddle in human affairs. And hello to Mr. Brown Alliance. Hey, great to see you here.
Good to see you, Mr. Brown.
Admiral Teague says, look how primal the opening battle is.
That's how medieval warfare was with like armored cavalrymen. A lot of people think they're just knights. No, that's cavalrymen. Those are, pikers and long distance engagements with like big pole arms on horseback. It was meant to be chaotic. They try to make medieval combat into something that it isn't. And a lot of the facts that I get my stuff from is from this guy called Shadiversity. You may have heard of him.
Mhm.
Really good channel, big channel.
Great.
And yeah, so the one thing I could say is the combat is very believable for people
Well-
wearing 100 pounds of tempered steel and iron and
Well, and
And
yeah.
of course, in this movie, they're not wearing steel and iron. Their armor is made out of aluminum or aluminium, since we're in Britain.
there we go. But also, the Arthurian legend comes from the 4th or 5th century, and plated armor wasn't actually introduced until about the 15th.
yeah,
And so, while really believable for the type of battles that they would have, it wouldn't have happened at the time that it was sort of laid out. Again, it being a legend as opposed to being a documentary.
And
A
I'm
myth,
on
myth,
this.
yes.
And I'm on this particular slide because this line here, when forged when the world was young and bird and beast and flower were one with man and death was but a dream. So it's like it feels like this is some kind of reference to Garden of Eden kind of stuff. And this was my first hint that this movie was going to have religious tones in it, and it really does.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, for a brief moment, King Arthur gets the support of King Cornwall, and they're going to have a fun party pretty soon.
They are. Well, an uneasy truce, if you will.
Yeah, it's more of a mutual understanding.
For about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes, until someone gets a boner.
Hey, Herc 130's here. And
Hey, Eric.
not only that, but also Jim's landscape.
Oh, boy,
Hello.
Jim.
And just writing them down, trying to keep track of who's here.
Yes, yes.
Oh, my cat will not leave me alone today. Yes, good morning.
Good morning to Tony's kitties, also.
One of many, but yeah, one big old triangle head. Get over there.
Mhm.
And so, yeah. Uther. Oh, what's the name of the actor who played Merlin? He does such a good job. He's so charismatic and enigmatic as well.
Oh, Merlin is played by Nicol Williamson.
Nice.
And I really he's my favorite too because of his range and the way he plays different scenes. Seems like completely different characters 1 minute to the next because of whatever kind of thing he wants to portray even in the same sentence, his voice will change completely just to make things more dramatic.
Yes. Are you thinking about at the end? Is it some think of me as a dream? Almost a nightmare.
That's one good example. But he'll drop his pitch just randomly, and it's almost funny, but not funny. It's good.
Well,
Well,
he's a wizard, and so you have to have a flair for the dramatic.
Yeah, it's almost like his regular day-to-day speech is almost an incantation.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Except we don't really know anytime he says magical stuff. We don't know what the heck he's saying. There's no captions for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no captions for the magic.
Okay. I thought I saw something for the translation of what the chant of making was. I'll see if I can find it for later. But to entertain Uther and his army and have a feast at the castle, the Duke of Cornwall decides to have his wife dance, and that was his first mistake.
Oh, she likes to dance, and
I like how they
nobody
have
thought it would be a
bread
problem.
on this table more accurate than the warfare. You make a good point, Scotty.
I must have her. Are you mad, the Alliance? I will have her.
Yeah, he has no impulse control.
None. Well, he does have machinations. It's not like he just sort of vaults over the
Right.
He might as well be. He might as well be.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
But
we could
I'd
literally
say-
hear his codpiece doing this right now. Dunk. What's this? Oh, my polon.
and risk
It's
everything to
ready.
win. Yeah, and he I guess he just, I don't know. But this movie was shot in Ireland because they have lots of castles.
I believe Teague said it was mostly shot on the director's estate.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah,
near his
that's
house
what-
for certain, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And the cinematography and the locations are fantastic. Like, it does, again, while there is some legendary aspects of it, it does look credible. It looks believable. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous movie.
Absolutely, it is. But the peace doesn't last too long. As we said, Cornwall wants
Or Uther wants Cornwall's wife.
Yeah.
Cornwall's wife. Igraine is her name.
Yes,
And
we get
he's-
not a lot of popular baby names in today's world.
No, you don't know anybody named Igraine.
No, well, one, but we felt long ago.
Cornwall
Some-
needs Merlin. He's not going to get through these ramparts without him. And Uther is just being an idiot.
Yeah,
For what
seriously.
reason? So I thought Merlin was just going to abandon him, like, you're just a dumbass. But in a way, he really does. Here, it doesn't seem like he is, because he says, "All right, I'll do it, but you got to give me the baby you make from it."
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's almost as if he knows that he's going to get himself killed. Spoiler alert.
Mhm.
For the Arthurian legend.
Yeah, for the Arthurian legend from, well over 1,300 years ago.
Yes, and that's part of his impulsivity too, is agreeing to outlandish things just to get what he wants in the moment.
Sure, I'll let you take care of the kid. I'll be back before dinner. Ah! How did he know?
Yeah, so this is where he does his magic. We don't really know what these words are, but he uses the power of the dragon or something.
Yes, he evokes the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure the visual effects here were pretty incredible for its time.
Well, nary a CGI shot in sight. It's all optical effects and in camera.
Optical effects, that's the word. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they apply Merlin's ability as an illusionist at the fore, where he disguises him to get him out, to smuggle him out.
Oh, right.
Well-
Right.
Mhm.
Yes, that's right. Merlin changes his form so he looks just like the Duke
Mm-hmm.
Cornwall. And that's also to full E-green.
And so with the transformation, he's allowed into the castle, even walks past the wolfhounds. I think those are wolfhounds.
Oh, there was a point when they were doing the magic where Uther just screams out of nowhere. Because he's fallen asleep. This magic, the spell is taking forever to cast, and you can tell the times goes by because they keep going back to shots of Uther falling asleep, and then he wakes up screaming, "Ah, I just dreamt about a dragon!" And Merlin's like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
I
was a
just
dream,
summoned it.
totally.
Meanwhile, the real Duke is murdered,
Yep.
and it seemed he wasn't exactly murdered. It was like a crow came and knocked him over, and he just impaled himself.
Yeah, fell on his sword. Not his sword, but
Fell on some sort of
implement.
yeah. And
And
that
Morgana. Oh my god.
Morgana Le Fay.
Morgana, what a crazy lady.
Even before I knew she was the evil villain of this movie, I thought this was some creepy kid.
It's the witch, all right. That's the witch.
Because she has a sight to know her father's dead. But that's not the part that's creepy. It's when she's just like, all right, he's
Oh.
dead. I'm just gonna close his eyes for him.
It's this,
I'm cool with this.
Yeah, see.
But we did, like, she does. Hey, Euler Greg. She
Mhm.
does witness the
Mhm.
love making. I was trying to figure out whether or not this was, well, I guess if it's unbeknownst to the woman, then it would be some form of sexual assault. If you're duped
Yes,
into
absolutely.
making the coitus.
Yes, it is.
But she is aware, she knows, and she actually, I think she sees through the disguise put in place by Merlin.
Does she? She doesn't seem to really act on it. Act on that knowledge if she does. I didn't know that she did. But
Well,
there's a lot of visual cues that I'm sure that I'm missing in this movie.
Well, there was a part where, like, it's Gabriel Byrne as Uther looks at Morgana and he looks like, oh, you know what's going on, even though I am supposed to be under the visage of the Duke, who is here, very relaxed.
Well, he's definitely at rest.
Yes, he is not in motion.
I didn't get any shots of the actual fornication occurring because I'm on YouTube and I don't want to.
Yeah, that's a Rumble exclusive thing.
Nudity.
And I just lost 2 listeners after I said that.
Oh no! Yeah, no nudity. I'm out of here.
What do you mean? I came for
No,
the 80s
actually, I
fantasy
do
movies.
capture some of it later when it's done more tastefully and they don't show anything.
Oh yes, but that one's much more romantic as opposed to a ravaging.
Yeah, right. That's also why I included too.
Hmm.
And hello to Euler Greg. He says, "Great movie, spooky kid, absolutely. That's the witch." And also Mazurus, Euler Greg and Mazurus. Great to see you guys.
Good to see you
He
guys.
says this is still one of my favorite interpretations of Le Mode d'Author.
Le Mort d'Arthur.
I should have you read all of the things.
It reminds me, there's a movie from the early 90s called Undercover Blues where Stanley Tucci plays a hitman and he refers to himself as El Muerte. And to undermine his authority, everyone's like, "Hey Morty, what's going on? My name is Muerte." Morty, shut up.
Le Morte.
Well, they could be nice and call him the Death.
Yes.
Mazira said typo. It's Le Muerte.
Admiral Teague says, I like how the Duke has a cheap soothsayer of his own. Oh, he did? Oh, I forgot about that part. Admiral Teague says, did you catch how the light on the back of Merlin's helmet makes the skull bright as Uther's ride begins?
That's cool.
Shadow of Death.
It's the name of my first album.
No, wow, metal.
Actually, it was smooth jazz. That's why it didn't sell very well.
It was La Morte d'Artel, says Admiral T.
He does. Thank you.
Thanks, Morty.
The one time that I could have used it, but I'm not going to because I respect you, Scotty.
Oh, what? No, I'm referring to a Kathleen Turner, Dennis Quaid
I know, I
movie.
keep thinking that too, Tony.
Fine, one time. Oh, jeez. There you go.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, that's the part where she closes his eyes. She's made peace with it.
Brutal time, brutal land, unfazed by death. You see it pretty much every day.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. And so Uther comes back to behold, because I guess the lady is still under the impression that it was the Duke's.
Right. Well, actually, you're right. She does know that it was someone else.
There was, yeah.
It's a women's intuition. It's that's what it's supposed to represent. It's like, yeah, nice parlor trick.
Oh, no, wait. Actually, the only way she knew it wasn't him was because after the fact she knew he was dead.
Yep.
And Uther is planning on turning over a new leaf and becoming a good man.
Completely forgetting his deal.
Mm-hmm.
Which Merlin is here just in time to remind him of. He's been asleep for 9 months.
Yes, and I enjoy the passage of time. Apparently there's been some confusion in the passage of time of this movie, but I found it to be sort of understandable and acceptable. Like even Merlin comes back, I've been asleep 9 moons. And so it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. That magic was a lot of work. So magic isn't free in this universe. You can't just do all the magic you want to do. It costs.
It isn't as easy as playing a land, tapping it, and throwing crap out on the table. You got to put some time and effort into casting.
Mm-hmm. You can't just wave a magic wand in this movie.
Yeah.
There's an exertion.
And Merlin's come for his payment, the little baby boy. And Igraine has no idea about this. So this kind of sucks for her. Even knowing that the baby isn't from the husband that she loved. When you carry a baby for 9 months and give birth to them, you instantly love them forever and want to protect them. So that's
now is 2 o'clock.
What she's going through.
May 2023.
It is.
Thank you, Jarvis. Admiral Teague says, Scotty surely knows this is the movie Batman's parents took him to see when they were jumped and deleted. So we know Snyderverse Batman's exact age.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I think Zack Snyder did say that this was his favorite movie. He's listed it as his favorite movie. But yeah, this is the movie that Bruce's parents were killed just outside after exiting.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah.
Are there different things that they were in different Batman movies and comics? Is it something different they've been?
Well, sometimes it's Zorro, and then in the Christopher Nolan, it was an opera. But yeah, it does.
An opera. That's what I remember.
Mm-hmm. But I think the original, or when it was established, I think that they come out of a Zorro film.
Which one was it in the animated series? Wasn't it Excalibur there too?
I don't recall. I kind of want to say it was the Grey Ghost, but I don't think it was because it was a television show.
The animated series was very noir.
That's a good question. Yes, please do. Meanwhile, Admiral Teague says Igraine equals John Boorman's daughter. Oh, wow. That's weird to make a movie and then film a movie with your daughter having a scene like that. Wow, I didn't know that. Mazurus says, uncomfortable trivia. The involuntary sex scene between Uther and Igraine, she was portrayed by director John Boorman's daughter. Boorman said, when asked, it didn't make him uncomfortable.
And nor did it make John Boorman's daughter uncomfortable either. The only person who was really uncomfortable by the situation was Gabriel Byrne. He was the one who was like, really? This is cool? All right. Ugh.
Well, I guess it's okay with both. I don't know.
Well, it's
Well,
all
it's
make
part-
believe. It's not
Yeah,
real.
I know it's not
Gabriel,
real. Like it's
Gabriel
not. None
Byrne
of
is
it.
an innocent man.
Yeah, everybody is. Yeah, right. Everybody is, but it kind of fits the themes in this movie, though. Mazer says, "I don't believe that, but he was professional about it." And hello to Gorilla's Random Thoughts.
Ahoy, Gorilla. Yes, and so this is the flaw of Uther. You betrayed the Duke. You stole his wife. You killed his men. No one trusts you. You're an asshole.
Yeah, Merlin says he's not fit for family life and not even fit to rule, which I agree with because he broke up a pretty profitable truce just for one night of passion. It's pretty ridiculous.
It's to answer the question, I think it's Hamlet that they watched because the name of the episode that references Wayne's death is Perchance to Dream.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, Shakespeare. I do like the different iterations of what I mean. It's a sad thing for Batman, but they do like to change what they were watching. And so, yeah, the baby's pulling her hair. That sucks. And poor Igraine has to pay for Uther's stupidity. And so Merlin's abandoned all hope of Uther being king, so he decided to get something out of this loss. And that's the baby. That's the baby Arthur.
Yeah, Arthur Pendragon.
And Morgana is not at all bothered by losing her baby half-brother.
Well, and again, she may have a burgeoning version of the sight because she says later on in the movie that she has dreams of things that do come to pass.
She's a witch.
Maybe
She is not clandestine, clairvoyant.
Yeah.
She does have the sight, yeah.
And Admiral Teague says Liam Neeson and Helen Mirren started dating during the production. Mirren, sorry.
Very cool.
My question is, how could either one of them ever tell if the other was lying or faking it? Both have Oscars. Well, lots of actors get together. I don't know. I've never really queried them about
Well, I would
that.
Yeah, I would assume that if you're a really good actor, you can sort of assure your partner in an earnest way.
Admiral Teague says all this music is Wagner. Much of the dialogue is from Shakespeare.
Shakespeare, yeah.
There is an original score to it there, and it's a multitude. There are a couple of different composers that are used throughout the film. But yeah, the dialogue is definitely inspired in a Shakespearean and dramatic way. A lot of the actors that we will see throughout the film sort of rose up into this movie by being well-known and well-regarded stage actors. And
yeah, like Liam Neeson.
Like Liam Neeson.
And Patrick Stewart.
Like that Patrick Stewart fellow. You'd most remember him from the X-Men movies.
Yeah, that's the only place I remember him from. Admiral Teague says
as the lion roars. Wait, what?
Huh?
There's the Duke Soothsayer pushing Morgana forward. So there he is. I totally missed him. Teatime says Filthy Friday. Okay. Hello.
This one, it is actually filthy. There's a lot of mud in this movie.
Lots of, yeah, right. Everything gets dirtier the further and further you get into the movie.
How can you tell he's not king? Well, he's the only one that's not covered in shit. Sorry, wrong.
But yes, it is. In terms of the Wagner music, there's a YouTube channel called HD Movie Tributes, and it has the often played, almost the theme of battle in this. But here we have Uther trying to chase after Merlin to collect his son, but then is struck down and says, "No one shall wield Excalibur except me."
Yes, and of course he was injured because, as Merlin told him, nobody trusts you anymore. So people have turned on him, and he's gone. But not before stabbing the sword into the stone.
Yeah.
I do enjoy how later on the Excalibur becomes a tourist attraction, and they build a sort of village around it, waiting for a hero
To pull it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Merlin already knows he's going to do it. He says, he pretty much tells Arthur he's going to be king.
Yes, and there he is, young Arthur.
Yeah, he's all grown up. This movie skips a bunch of time, a lot of times.
Yes.
And from this point, is Arthur played by the same person for the whole movie?
Yes. Yep, the whole flick. The gentleman's name, I do have it. I'm sure someone else.
Mhm.
Oh, where are we?
I have it somewhere too.
Let's see. No, that's trivia. Scroll up, Scott. Scroll up. Nigel Terry.
Nigel Terry, King Arthur. Uh-oh.
Yes.
I have to take this call. Can you guys carry on for a minute?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can vamp. Sure.
So
Okay, thanks.
this is an interesting, again, speaking of the Renaissance Festival, Renaissance Fair, with an E. This is where the jousting happens to see who the champion would be, who gets to have the attempt at loosing the sword from the stone. And in the middle of it is, Patty Stew.
Patty Stew.
Which is, I think Patrick Stewart himself credits this as being his first cinematic role. He may have done bit parts or anything, but this is the one that he acknowledges as being the first, and he plays Léon de Grance. I probably said that too French, but whatever.
No, it was very, very French stereotypical. More.
Oh, really?
Than French. Yes.
Okay. Sweet.
I like the cartoonish application of an accent versus the actual accent.
Yeah, that makes sense because I'm, not French. But this is cool, and everybody's going around and sort of de-horsing each other. Mm-hmm. And it's a very, like, you do feel the weight of the armor and the heft of the swords and the clubs and the lances. Obviously, this isn't to the death. This is just sort of a simple contest.
Yeah. It's a joust as to who gets knocked off. It's not even a round of three until three lances are splint. It's the one round. Paper, rock, scissors, if you would, of jousting.
Best out of three.
Yeah.
And this is Clive Swift as Hector, the adopted father of Arthur. I forget the name of his brother. And by forget, it's not immediately on screen for me to reference.
Right.
But yeah, this is Arthur fulfilling the role of squire. And I guess
humble beginnings.
I guess his half brother here is going to enter into the contest to see if he can be the champion who attempts to loose the sword.
Yeah, I like the concept of immovable weapons unless you're worthy. Like, you see that everywhere. And I kind of like that trope. It's a fun trope.
Well, absolutely. And it's an easy way to and in modern storytelling, it is an easy way to identify who the hero is in the story, but obviously in this particular instance, it is to inform the grandiose nature of Arthur, King of the Britons. And so there we see the contest, the juiced, and Dalek is here. Dalek 451 is here. Hey, Dalek.
Hello, Dalek. How are you?
Hey, Dalek. Great to see you.
says, "Hi, Jill. I didn't realize you were live until now." And in all honesty, neither did we.
Plomeek
we
every
started
Friday.
already. I thought this was rehearsal.
Sorry, are we live? Is this live?
What we could totally do it again. We just need to
Yeah,
go
let's
back up. Yeah. So let's
need
go
more-
back up to the top of here. Hi guys, we're live. Admiral T says the land from here to the sea will be yours if you force the king. Okay, carry on.
But as the champions are felled by Leon de Grance, and so in some fascinating decisions of trying to show strain, Patrick Stewart sort of silently cries out in effort to try and release the.
If he had used his telekinetic powers, this wouldn't have taken that long.
Absolutely.
Wait, hey, that's different. That's different.
I had to.
Now, Excalibur in the Marvel universe, are they the British Avengers or are they the British X-Men?
Excalibur's the British X-Men. I think they're mutants.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to check. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Emphasis on the X in that team. With the drop on one side, like the one in the X-Men. There he goes. The Squire pulled it. But you're just a squire. Well, not anymore. Now you're king.
No, I like that his adoptive father says, "Put it back, put it back."
Put it back.
Yeah. Well, and there is a nobility to his half brother as well. It's like, did you lose the sword? And it's like, yes, no, it was Arthur. And so I did appreciate that there wasn't a prolonged sort of him pretending and then no, I saw.
Oh, that would be such a sitcom thing.
Yeah, but I did appreciate it. And again, this is a movie, or like the legend itself is sort of a parable or a tale of chivalry and honesty and truth, and the fall of man if you don't subscribe to those edicts. Let the boy try. And everyone says, well, he's the king now.
Yeah, he's king now.
God
And
save
so,
the king.
yeah. So this is when his adoptive father finally says, "Oh, right, you're not, you're adopted."
By the way.
But it was actually kind of a sweet moment. He says, "Merlin the magician brought you to me when you were newly born and bade me raise you as my own. At first I did so because I feared Merlin, but later because I loved you."
Yes. And Actor is throughout the film as well. It's not like we get this once. A lot of, again, the people who show up at this contest are stay with Arthur throughout the tale.
Mm-hmm. They do. And Admiral Teague says, "You betrayed the Duke. You took his wife. No one trusts you anymore. You're not the one, Uther." Yeah, no. But he will sire the one.
Yes. Ooh, excellent. Sire, you say.
Admiral Teague says, "This was the most touching sequence from the movie for an adopted kid. His adopted father simply says, 'I did this because I loved you.' And Arthur never stops calling Kay his brother."
True.
Nice. That's right.
And Admiral Teague says, "You're not my..." Oh yeah, that I read that actually. I like that part too.
Orphans don't lie.
If a boy has been chosen,
we should make it so. Make it so.
I couldn't read that straight. Thank you for helping.
Make it so. Number 1, I need you to fit my armor. Number 2, go take a number 2.
Some are for it, some are against it, and Arthur is smart enough to just get out of there.
Yeah.
Well, I do appreciate that Leon de Grance is first and foremost. He's first in line to say, "Yep, absolutely, we'll follow him."
Yes, exactly.
It's a sign of a noble knight, though. It's like,
well, he saw it, and what I see is backstage we have Dalek 451. He wants to talk about this this movie.
Yay!
Hello, Dollar.
Hi, Jill.
Hi.
Hello, Dolly.
Ahoy!
You just presume I want to talk about what is this?
Oh, I thought you wanted to talk about Excalibur.
He
Right?
wants to conquer the
You know-
planet. You've already let him in. The fences were down.
Well, I figured you I don't know. I just assumed you might want to talk about it. Yeah, I did. I made an assumption. Have you not seen Excalibur?
I've probably seen versions of Excalibur, but this one probably not.
Yeah. But you know author the
You sent me
legends
look,
and everything. Okay,
Look,
I'm
Jill,
sorry.
Jill, you sent me the link to come up, and I thought it's been a long time since I've actually been up here on your channel, so I
Yeah.
came in.
Oh well, it's good to see you either way.
But yes, of course. I mean, of course, growing up here in England, I do know the legends of. I've heard of King Arthur, Excalibur, and all. I have heard all that before. Of course, I have.
Definitely. So this is just another version of it. So I figure you're qualified. And so Arthur is at first rejecting the idea of being king. And he's also afraid. And so he spends the whole night being scared of everything.
When we do get the description of what the dragon is, it being basically Gaia, an earth force of sorts.
Mm. Right.
And there's a serpent. Lots of live animals in this one. I didn't even wait until the end credits to see if any animals had been harmed in the making of this film, but I'm hoping not.
I hope not too, but we don't know for sure.
And none of them are native to Britain at all.
Right? You don't see this big millipede anywhere or whatever this is.
Well, millipede maybe, but whatever that lizard is, definitely not. And that
A root
and
wall.
and go back a few frames to that picture of that owl I saw. Yeah,
That's
not
the North
accurate.
American owl.
yeah, that's not that doesn't. That's is
I think
that
I saw one of those on the
See, I
drive
knew
home
you
from
were going to
work
have
3
some
days
good
ago.
comments.
There's no
that's
truth
not-
in this
that's-
art.
Yeah, that's not a British breed of owl. I don't think.
Thank
Or
you.
it might be wrong. It might be looks kind of like a tawny owl, so it might be a British one after all. But we definitely don't have snakes like that here.
Didn't a certain individual drive all the snakes out? Okay, I'll see myself out. Happy St. Patrick's Day. That already came and passed.
True. It has. This year's going by very fast in general. Every year.
Mhm.
Yeah, it feels like that, doesn't it? We're already in May, correct? Good to
Well,
say.
there's a reason why, but I don't want to bring everybody's moods down with logic.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Logic's never harmed me.
Okay. The reason why time seems to be going faster and faster is because we are experiencing a half-life with every year that we live. From year 0 to 1, when we are born, that is our entire life. From year 1 to 2, that entire life is now half of our life. Our perception
Yeah, that
of
makes
time
sense.
goes by quicker
It's
as
exponential.
we are older. So once you reach a certain age, it's in the blink of an eye. You're going out.
Is that why this stream goes by so fast and all of a sudden I have to run away?
Yes.
Admiral Teague says Merlin is absolutely an influence on Lucas casting the Emperor. Oh,
See,
so
it
this was an influence on Star Wars?
Oh, I could
Yeah,
definitely see some
Nicol
parallels with Star
Williamson
Wars,
and
but I
Ian
would say
McDermott.
that as a sort of guardian to Arthur, I got more Obi-Wan vibes off of Merlin.
But look at the
Different-
eyes. Look at the accentuation on his face. It's unlike Obi-Wan, played by Sir Alec Guinness. This one's very dramatic and animated in your face, which is much more like a sheath.
But and I only say so because Merlin seems more benevolent as opposed to, although he is working on machinations, but those machinations are to bring balance to the dragon.
Right.
Right. So the dragon is basically the force here. So I can definitely see that. A beast of such power that if you were to see it whole and complete in a single glance, it would burn you to cinders. And it's everywhere and everything.
Between the shore and the ship.
Its roar is heard in the wind, and its forked tongue strikes like, and then there's like a bolt of lightning that like lightning. And that's yeah. Then Admiral Teague says Nicol Williamson, who played Merlin, did not go to acting school. He went to voice school, like Ian
McDiarmid.
Don't inspire me to go back into any sort of academic study of an official nature. I will learn my impersonations and voice acting on my own.
Well, yeah, you can learn on your own. You don't need to go to school for it. But if
I
people,
was just
some
being
people,
funny, but
some people like the academic atmosphere, so teach their own.
I was just being funny. I wasn't.
Admiral Teague says Merlin sleeping with his eyes open, just like Gandalf decades later. Yeah, that's true. I did think about Gandalf sometimes, especially at the beginning of the movie. He said a version of the line of "A wizard is never late." He arrives precisely when he means to.
And I did like it was because Merlin does sleep with one eye open, which I thought was actually rather entertaining.
It's a lot easier to sleep with one eye open than both.
And it's also to keep him safe, possibly. Admiral Teague says, agree that Obi-Wan is based on Merlin. Both guide the hero to his +5 blade.
Absolutely.
The Admiral Teague says the dragon, Merlin, and Arthur's fates are deeply intertwined, and they are stronger when they are together. With Arthur as
king. Yep. Oh yes, it's the tooth. It's the teeth. It's the bite.
What kind of man was my father? Oh man, he was a good pilot and a good friend.
Yeah, very yeah.
Merlin's trying to be nice about it. He's strong and brave, but Arthur is too intelligent for that. He asks if his dad was a great king. So Merlin has to be honest. He says that he was rash. And Arthur is already showing wisdom just in his request when he asks Merlin for help to be wise instead of rash.
Well, and we do see that wisdom come out. I like this. I was surprised how much I like this going through in terms of the whole story.
It is a fun story.
There's weird stuff for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait.
There's disturbing things for sure, definitely.
I know, it's crazy.
And Arthur decides he doesn't know how to be king, but he figures it out. He decides to help Captain Picard because he supported his being king. I don't know. Actually, I did feel that from this movie that Patrick Stewart had a much more commanding presence than I've seen him lately.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Well, he could actually yell in this movie.
Yeah.
Right. I could hear him.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
Where's Teague when we need him doing the oh?
Any man who would be a knight, join me on my quest.
Yes, the quest. Yeah, definitely. They're going to go fight to help Leon DeGrant. See, I call him Captain Picard just because I can't say this name.
Sir Picard. There we go.
Leon DeGrant.
Picard Eldegrand.
Someone say this for me. I put it in the public chat.
Cameliard. Leon DeGrant of Cameliard.
Leon DeGrant.
Camel toe.
Later to become Camelot. Spoiler.
Dalek, are you laughing at Lenny of Camel Toe?
I'll take that as a yes.
Len Rod of Camel Toe. Wait, what?
Hey, is Lenrod here?
Throw the rope.
Leon de Grand.
I can't. I'm a hologram. Wait.
Wrong show.
You got Leon de Grand just, going, oh, by the way, end simulation any minute, and it's all over. It's just like...
Yeah, this is definitely Captain Picard's hologram.
The holodeck so fun.
Well, and this is so cool because I guess it is Guinevere is Leon de Grand's daughter, and she's rather taken and enamored with young Arthur.
Yeah, she is. And yeah, she loves him pretty much straight away as soon as she meets him.
Mm-hmm.
Brave, 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 brave Sir Robin.
He ran away, he turned his tail. I didn't.
Well, if you had a 3-headed giant arguing with himself, talking about how he wants to kill you, you'd probably turn around and run away too.
Ahoy, Mikey Susie 4.
Yes, hello to Matt G. Hey, Matt G. And actually, Admiral Teague's seen this movie over 300 times. That's incredible.
Wow.
Over 1 million, Vegeta.
Arthur has figured out that doing the right thing, just because it's the right thing, is the way to inspire.
I'm probably the only one here who would get that reference.
Well, I didn't do it in the voice.
Leon de Grant.
Leon de Grand.
Oui, oui, monsieur, le Cameto. Chateau le Cameto, oui, oui. Brave, 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 Sir Robin.
Oh, Gwen. Ill-fated Gwen.
Hey, well, she does a great job of protecting herself with that shield.
Oh, true.
And getting out of the way.
Here we get more of that unchoreographed, visceral, realistic combat.
Yes, hello, Mikey Suze 4. And Admiral Teague says, when Arthur will marry, he looks at Picard, and Picard looks back in utter confusion. He's thinking,
is he going to marry me?
Okay. Mikey Suze 4 says he's seen this film at least 10 times. Wow.
Wait a second. Is there a character in this one called Picard?
No,
Yes.
no,
Sir
no.
Picard of Camelot, Lord and Master of the Holodeck. I mean, Britain.
No, Dalek. Patrick Stewart is in this movie.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But his in-universe name is Leon de Grant of
We got
Camelot.
Cinema Gulp in the chat.
Hey, Ben.
Awesome. Hey, Cinema Gulp is here.
Talk is full of us. I need the sword to be king. Well,
No,
and,
just Mary Berry.
And in Robin
He's
Hood
not,
Men in
he's
Tights.
not a merry man.
In Robin Hood Men in Tights, Patrick Stewart goes on to play Richard the Lionheart at the end.
Wow. I didn't know that. I never knew he did that.
Well, and that's because I remember there was a BBC show about Robin Hood in this, not in this, but in the 80s. And I was watching this, and because it does sort of have the same cinematography and look, I kept going like, wait, when does Friar Tuck show up? And no, wrong legend. And then also Nicol Williamson does play Little John in that, he plays it in one iteration of the Robin Hood legend.
So all of these British actors will show up again in other different tales of legends.
Yes.
And things.
Which
That
is
makes
cool.
sense. That is pretty cool. And this is a pretty pivotal scene where he asks for Urine to join to be his first knight. And The power of Excalibur seems to compel urine. But he says he's only a squire. So Arthur asks to be knighted, and the sword seems to have control over urine. And he's like, all right, I'll do it.
It's funny you should, it's funny you should mention Friar Tuck and because I've actually been rewatching a couple of old classic Disney movies lately, and and one of them was Robin Hood.
Nice.
It's ironic, Mikey, Susie, for Patrick Stewart before he became a sir, playing a knight before he was knighted.
And also, funny enough, the week before, one of the ones I watched was The Sword in the Stone. So.
Wow. See, I haven't seen that one, although I've heard it, obviously.
Oh, that would
I'm
be
aware
good.
of it. Good follow-up?
Yeah, for this.
See, there we go. Merlin gets it. I never saw this.
I want to get that skull cap that is on Merlin's head for reasons.
Yeah.
And here we go. The meet cute under the tree. Let me stitch you up, young man. It's interesting considering the amount of mud. Nothing gets infected.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's got some paste of some sort.
Oh, she does. She does use the disinfectant herbal remedies. True.
It's salve.
Gesundheit.
Bitte.
Oh, and I like this little interaction. Can you make her love me? Oh, I'm not doing that again.
It took me 9 months to recover. And all for this lunacy called love. This mad distemper that strikes down both beggar and king.
Mm-hmm.
As it does.
Wait a second, is it? Uh-oh.
So Mikey Sees4 says Patrick Stewart before he became a sir.
Yes, sir.
Admiral Teague says the Sean Connery Robin Hood, where plays an older Robin, is called Robin and Marion.
Really, really good. I enjoyed that one as well.
With Audrey Hepburn, adds Phantom Boomer.
And Robert Shaw is the sheriff of Nottingham, I believe. Yeah.
Mikey Sees4. Oh yeah, you please read that one.
So Sean Connery played Richard and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Yes, that was a surprise when I saw that movie, and then all of a sudden Sean Connery shows up at the end. It was great. I have a soft spot in my heart for that Robin Hood movie. I know other people are derogatory towards Kevin Costner not being able to hold an accent, which is warranted and granted, but I still have a soft spot for that movie.
And Anne Martique says thanks to Mikey for subscribing. Joining the fleet, as it says. And Guinevere loves Arthur too, so they both love each other basically. But Merlin warns him that a friend will betray him. But she makes him some food, so we forget all about that.
Seems like an edible.
Yeah, it's an edible. It's not tainted, but it's injected with something to help him sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, look. Somebody stole your sweet roll.
Tunnel snakes for life.
Yeah. Tunnel snakes rule. You that sweet roll you got from old lady Palmer.
Well, and maybe this is where I sort of had the idea. Oh, yes, and Merlin's trying to catch a fish. Unsuccessfully.
Yeah, he's not the best fisherman, but even when I feel maybe it was deliberate because after this he has something to contribute. That's why he says, remember, there's always something cleverer than yourself.
There's always a bigger fish.
Oh, bigger fish. Oh, moi.
Hey, Anonymous is here. Great to see you, Anonymous.
Hey guys, I just bought this on Blu-ray. I can't believe I missed this growing up. Can't wait to watch it. Anonymous, same deal. This is I got this a couple of weeks ago and I hadn't watched it yet in anticipation of being able to do it on a tea time. And I like the transfer. I think it looks great. It looks as I remember seeing it on PBS on a Sunday afternoon in the mid 80s when I saw like bits and pieces of it, but I was too young. I didn't have the patience for the story then.
Well, that's how I viewed most of my TV growing up in movies. It was kind of just in the background while I was coloring or drawing or doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm paying for it because now I have to rewatch all of the stuff or watch it for real.
None shall pass.
It was.
I am Arthur, King of the Britons. I move for no man.
It was really cool because again, it was one of those late nights. Turn off the lights and all focus on the screen, and so it was rather engaging. Again, it's beautiful with the shimmering armor, and we're introduced to Lancelot.
Yeah, he has the shimmeriness of all the armor.
Shining
Shiny
armor.
Yes, Lancelot. And he has a great presence when he's introduced. He's undefeated, and he calls it a curse to be undefeated.
Oh.
Well, it sucks to be the best when you have no one else to challenge you.
He's never met his match.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dalek, were you just about to say exactly? Did you identify with that statement? Yes, it is hard.
It is hard. It is lonely being
Wow.
up.
Well, when you're
This
the
is
Dalek
what-
Emperor.
Well, it's
Yes.
just what you said. It reminded me of something else, which makes that exact same comparison. Same comparison for parody purposes. But never mind.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm not doing the Saitama voice. I won't do it.
Oh, come on.
Fine. Okay.
Okay. but yeah, you're 100% correct. If literally no one can challenge you, then what's the point?
Well, it's kind of like One Punch Man, yeah. Or is that what you guys were talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, One Punch Man.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That comes up there. That's cool. Yeah, a lot of these things, I'm sure, are repeated all over the place.
Well, and this part here, I enjoy that Lancelot is like, "Don't try it, Arthur. I have the high ground," and so.
Right, you don't have a horse anymore. What are you doing? Come on.
You underestimate my power. Sorry.
And so
Yeah,
they upgrade
and
it from being
Arthur- Yeah, Arthur, just go ahead. What'd you say?
I was just going to say he upgrades from he's like I'm not going to yield. This was supposed to be a simple contest, but now it will be to the death.
That's right, because King Arthur here, he's kind of being a sore loser. and Lancelot tries to reason with him. Hey, you could have just gone around on the road, but Arthur wasn't about to give up that bridge, so he's going to fight to the death for it.
Look, you stupid bastard. You got no arms left. Yes, I
And-
have. Look. Just a flesh wound.
Admiral Teague says Gina from Scarface is Maid Marian in Robin Hood.
Prince of Thieves.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Could you read this too?
Then Connery returned as Richard for Robin Hood Men in Tights. LOL. It's good to be the king. No, Patrick Stewart, not Connery. Yeah, Mikey. Totally. Totes.
How cool is Lancelot's weapon? Says Admiral Teague. Oh, and Big T Moore.
Big T Moore.
Big T Moore.
Bigot Moore? I don't think so.
No. Sorry. It doesn't matter if Sean can play a Russian sub-captain. Then Costner can play Robin Hood. I'm with you, Scotty. Prince of Thieves is a fun film.
Thanks,
And
Mikey.
Phantom Boomer says in Men in Tights, it was Patrick Stewart pulling a Connery type accent. Oops. Clicked on something.
Yeah.
Mikey says Patrick Stewart was funny as Richard in Robin Hood Men in Tights. Oh, yeah, you guys already said that. Y'all quoted that already. 'Tis but a scratch. Yeah. And Mikey Sue's 4 just subscribed to Canadian Spider-Man thanks to the Stream Element spot.
He had
Right.
a very early stream yesterday, and I was working on my review of Guardians 3 and popped by for a bit. Canadian Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I'd want to talk to you about that movie, but we're in the middle of something right now. Later.
Mhm.
And I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it.
We can talk about it. I'll be
yeah,
doing. I'm compiling my review and having it put up sometime either today or tomorrow.
Okay, great. Hello to Cinema Gulp. You guys ever see Merlin, the miniseries from '98? Sam Neill, Helena Bonham Carter, James Earl Jones, and Rutger Hauer. They put some good money into it back then. Pretty good. I think you can stream.
I am curious about that. I've seen the VHS box for it. I remember it at my local video store, but I haven't actually seen it. But
I remember seeing TV spots and commercials on it, but never watched it.
And so Arthur wields the power of Excalibur to defeat Lancelot. And unfortunately, it breaks Excalibur.
Yeah. And he admits it. My pride broke it.
Mm-hmm.
My rage broke it. This excellent knight who fought with fairness and grace was meant to win. I used Excalibur to change that verdict.
You broken what could not be broken. Hope is broken.
And so even though he had this kind of negative kind of reaction to Lancelot, he admits his failure in that in his personality, and that's what wins him back the sword.
Mm-hmm.
I made a mistake, and Lady's like, yeah, I see that you realized you made a mistake, so here's back.
Just took it down to the local pay and spray. Everything's okay, and it still has that magical green sheen.
Bird of Prey says, honor the warrior that dies bravely in battle. Pity the warrior that has slain all his foes. And does anyone know what the fuck Lancelot's weird weapon is even called? Was it real or just made for the movie?
It's a jousting lance. And there are variants of the jousting lance. Now, Lancelot's weapon, once he becomes a Knight of the Round Table, is the Sword of Peace. But we don't see that, I don't think, in this movie. But I think it was just a jousting lance.
Apparently, the original cut of the movie was like 3 hours long, and so there was some stuff that was taken out. Even a love scene between Liam Neeson and Helen Mirren, as Admiral Teague said in the chat earlier, they were a couple at the time, or met on the movie and became a couple for about 3 years. But I'm wondering if there would have been more of the legendary references, a little bit more of a building up of the friendship between Lancelot and Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this movie is good, but yes, it could have used some of that character growth, and maybe that's what they cut.
It's possible. Well, they did say, like, even John Boorman was mentioned. It's like they cut it down from 3 hours, and some people may actually still find it too long. I was daunted by the runtime of it because I was like 2 hours and 20. I don't know if I have this in me. It goes by like it's a good clip.
Mm-hmm.
I was never bored during this.
Yes, and right, especially because Lancelot here is so happy he lost. He has found his king.
You will be my champion, Lance. A lot. Do I call you Mr. A lot? Can I call you Lance?
Oh yeah, and he gave up all his land and he didn't have a castle.
Meanwhile, at Mount Doom, no.
Big Timor says, yeah, Cinema Gulp, Merlin and Sam Neill was good. Some of the CGI a bit rope, but it was the 90s.
You can have the worst CGI in the world as long as you have Helena Bonham Carter. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, 90s TV CGI, you get what you get. Yes, just like Babylon 5.
Oh
Admiral
yeah,
Teague says, I saw that Rutger Hauer author. It wasn't bad. It's just this movie sets a high mark.
It
And there's
did.
and here's the link to Jim's landscape.
Is it-
If you like puppies and you like Starship CGI, he does that. Yes, Stalik?
Speaking of puppies, is that what is? Can I hear one? Is that what I can hear? Right? What's that
Is that
whining?
Snoopy?
that is Snoopy.
Hi, Snoopy.
Aw.
Snoopy okay?
He's fine.
Okay. I trust you. Admiral Teague says Lady Hawk is still the best sorcery movie because it has young Michelle Pfeiffer. But
Young Michelle Pfeiffer. Mm-hmm.
this is okay. Is Lady of the Lake another member of Boorman fan? And Admiral Teague says, to his hand to his hand-to-hand weapon.
His
To his
melee
hand-to-hand weapon. Yeah, so yeah, right. A melee. Melee is a good word. Admiral Teague says Lancelot has this weird small crowbar with a spike on one end and a hook on the other. It's really cool. And Stream Elements wants you to remember to subscribe to Captain Infinity. Oh, and hello to Classic Comet.
A
Comments.
hooked polearm. They often use those hooks in order to pull stuff off of a horse. A bill or gusarme, maybe. I was thinking it was a gusarme, but wasn't that like the poleaxe? Like, that was a bit more prominent at the bladed end.
I have a grappling thing. You know those things they use to pick up trash? And I
Yeah.
use that to pull stuff off of the shelves because I'm short.
She's
And-
tiny.
And Admiral Teague says this is where Merlin unspools more Shakespeare. I do love all the Shakespeare in this movie. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I should have done that. I should have figured out which lines are Shakespeare because I could notice some of them myself, but I'm not a Shakespearean scholar.
I'm going to look into particular polearms and see if I can't find.
Mikey says, I sent you a suggestion, Jill, about Gulliver's Travels. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that is great. Gulliver's Travels is a cool movie. It's a cool story. Wait, okay. I haven't seen the movie. Honestly, I haven't seen the movie. I read the story. Admiral Teague says, I don't know if we can call Lancelot's weapon a polearm.
I was thinking
Unavailable.
of a halberd. That's the axe. The gusarme is a pole weapon that was used in Europe primarily between the year 1000 and 1400. Its origin is highly dramatic from the old German Gesjarn, literally called weeding iron. Like many medieval polearms, its exact early form of the weapon is hard to define from literary references. The identification of surviving weapons can be speculative. That may be it. Falchion, Vosges.
But we miss a whole lot of war. They do a whole lot of battles, and they get peace, and they're happy. And they're gonna have a party.
Brand of stock could be it.
They're gonna build a round table about it.
I don't think it's a bill. Bill just is a farming tool, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a type of bardish.
Oh, and Matt G is here. Hello, Matt G.
Don't mind me. I like medieval weapons.
Well, okay, yeah. I don't know what a bardish is. Like, what? I'm just guessing these are variations of different kinds of sticks. That
we're trying to
ascertain.
ascertain what kind of polearm Lancelot used in that duel at the bridge.
I do understand that part. I do understand the research that you're doing. It has to do with what weapon that was. Yeah. But when you start telling me all these different kinds of names of these sticks, I'm not going to know it. I'm not going to know what they are. But if you have any pictures you want to show us, I will share them.
Oh, I was just glancing over. I mean, we got to get back to the movie.
Admiral Teague says they messed. Well, no, but this is the research is kind of fun too. So if you do want to do that, I'm okay with it. Remember this day. Keep it in your hearts always. This is how I start wedding toasts, when I'm the best man. Actually, that's not bad. Nobody, yeah.
Wow.
And they mess up the piece real quick. Hey, that's how the movie started. It makes sense that the cycle continues.
Mm-hmm. Look at that war horn.
Yes, it makes a cool sound too. Mikey says Brian Blessed, rest in peace, is a great British actor who's done many of these medieval types of movies. You are one under the stars.
Wait, what?
Oh, what is it, Dalek?
Oh no, Brian Blessed's died.
Oh, was that recent?
Must have been.
Oh shit. Really? I don't see that here.
Victor Fontaine of Gotham.
What?
Good to see
You no, Jill. Mikey, was it Mikey says 4? He says Brian Blessed. All right.
Rest in peace. No, but I don't see that he died here. It says he's born October 9th, 1936, so he is quite up there.
Oh.
But
What is
it does
well,
not
why
say
did-
here that he's passed.
Well, why did Mikey put R.I.P. after Brian's name?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I just figured he died a long time ago, but I didn't suspect that it would be a recent death. But I don't see
No.
I don't see that he's died here.
Do you even know who Brian Blessed is?
See him here. It says he was in Flash Gordon and Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
He's not okay. He's not dead.
He's not dead.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, sorry, he's still alive. 86 years. And that's good news. We have good news today. He's alive.
Who's alive?
Brian Blessed.
Brian Blessed.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, so you came back
Blessed's
for
alive.
you came back to a he's still alive report instead of a he's dead report, which was always sad. So I'm glad I didn't have to be sad. That's really
I'm very relieved about that because
it's okay, Mikey. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Oh dear.
Brian Blessed's my dad.
Look, simply put, Brian Blessed is a huge British actor, and if there's one thing that most people definitely know him for, it's this incredible booming voice that he has.
Well, I'm glad he's still here to deliver that. I want to say hello to Victor Fontaine. Jill, you keep pulling me into your streams with these great movie titles. Hey, I'm glad you're here to check that. We're checking out this movie. Actually, Scotty and I had never seen it before. Admiral Teague in the chat has seen it 300 times. And Tony has seen it, I don't know how many times. And
if I were to guess, I'd say once or twice, maybe 3.
That's enough. And Dalek is our expert on just British culture in general. To tell us that the owls in this movie...
I came up to be the Pendragon aficionado, but now we got Dalek here, so I'm just along for the ride.
You could still be that too, if you want. Adam Teague says, did we mention the Duke was a Redgrave? Lynn? And okay, wait. Tony, will you please read this?
Did we mention that the Duke was a Redgrave? Lynn and Vanessa Redgrave's brother. Yes. We didn't mention it, but you did. But that is a very good point.
Matt G says, I start wedding toasts with, you guys validate parking?
I start weddings with, "Are you with the bride or groom?" I'm usually an usher.
So sorry he's still alive. Oh no, we're happy with it.
No, we're ecstatic that he's alive.
Mhm.
This is see. There's a certain change of tempo that you have to do if somebody has passed, and we're talking about it, and then to hear that he's alive, it actually livened up the stream
Right.
in a way.
Yeah.
Not like
Okay.
Betty White. She's dead.
Oh yeah. Right.
Come on. Mortality is the curse of us all. Live life like you're gonna die, because you're gonna.
Ah,
Thank you, William Shatner.
You're welcome.
Brian blessed in flesh, Gordon.
Peppa Pig's grandpa. Nice.
Yep.
Good.
Brian
Oh,
blessed
oh
in
my
important
God.
role. Yep. Peppa Pig's grandpa.
If you're a kid from the '90s like I am, you'll especially particularly a British kid, there's a very good chance you've either seen Brian Blessed in something you've watched, or at least heard his voice in something you've watched.
I watched a lot of cartoons, so I'm sure I've heard him somewhere.
Jill, you and I need to talk about cartoons at some point. Like
Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon.
Yes, yes,
do it.
yes.
I still want to talk about Good Burger.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Yes. Let's do that sometime.
Sweet.
But not next week, because next week's going to be a party.
Yay! Ain't no party like an S.
Did you hit your 400 yet, bud?
No, but I'm going to.
I know
It's
you're
only
going to.
7 more. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to take longer than a week to get.
Yeah,
7 more
I'm struggle
subscribers.
busting for this last 10 to get to 200, man. Getting all these projects lined up for it, it may never happen.
Well, if I do nothing, you're right. I probably won't get it. But all I have to do is, be sweet and show up and say, "Hey, I have to," and everybody. Yeah, no, it'll happen. Admiral Teague says, "Did we mention the Duke was a red grave?" Lynn and
Oh,
oh
he's
yeah,
not-
you read that. Thank you.
Oh, he's not just alive; he's still acting.
Hmm. Yeah, he's still working as of last year. Is something in production?
Gordon's alive.
Yeah. That's the good news of today. Brian Blessed is hard to miss. He's
He's large. And he's large.
Big Two More says all this talk of Peppa Pig, hungry for bacon.
The only thing smells like bacon is bacon, and that's bacon, it's bacon! No, it's bacon.
Wilbur.
That's the funny thing.
The
Peppa Pig.
talking protein in your breakfast.
One moment.
Just a moment.
Somebody's knocking on the door here.
Oh, a party has arrived for Tony. And so
And
there's
we
marriage.
get the wedding. Has anyone mentioned Cherie Lungi? She's cute as a button. And I
Sri
think
Lungi.
she's a great Guinevere.
She is. She's gorgeous. And they don't really have a courtship or anything. So...
That was my neighbor. I'm gotta take care of her cat tonight. She's gonna be out of town, so.
Oh, how nice of you to do something like that. Especially because your other cats. Do your other cats already know this cat?
My other cats can very much be compared to the xenomorph. They're a very hive-like group of cats that whenever they see another cat, they converge and usually feast upon it. So no, whenever I come back over from the neighbors, they know that I'm going to see another cat, and they don't like it. But
Okay, so you're going over to her place to watch the cat. That makes sense.
well, no. I mean, I'm going to be feeding it and tending to it over the next day or two.
Yeah, because
Throughout.
cats don't need that much attention. They just need to be fed.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
But her cat is a sweet baby, so I will be petting and hugging on it.
Aww.
Cool. No, it's okay that you repeat yourself, Mikey, because
Is
then
there
I
anything
know
about-
where I am in the chat.
Is there anything about Pepper Pig?
Ryan Blessed apparently plays Peppa
Kyle.
Pig, and Peppa Pig's dad.
Oh, right. So I had a feeling he might have been had something to do with that.
But anyway, in the movie Morgana, it shows back up again here. Arthur's half sister, and she appears and tells Merlin she tells him she's a witch. She tells him she's a witch. So he tests her knowledge in the arts of chemistry and herbology, and she passes. She's good at potions.
And Morgana seems fairly pleasant through most of the movie. She doesn't seem like she has ulterior motives.
In
Yeah,
Arthurian legend, a lot of people they mistake Morgana as being this ugly old hag. Oh no, she is very debonair and very tempting and very charismatic in all of her interactions because, as a witch, a more subtle iteration of, she has to play off of people's trust.
And that's what she does to Merlin.
Yes.
She acts like she just wants to be an apprentice.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit more. And this was interesting. This is what I was trying to talk about earlier, but I couldn't. The days of our kind are numbered. The one God comes to drive out the many gods. And so that's one of the Christianity themes.
Hey,
in this
Jill,
movie. Yes, Dalek.
I have to go.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell us about your channel and you can head out and out of here.
Oh, right. I have a channel, something called Dalek 451. I mainly do live streams talking about just about anything in pop culture. I sometimes do reviews, and more recently I started doing gaming streams. So please go check out my channel. Please subscribe, and hope to see you over there. Have a good chat and a good time. So see you over there.
Yeah, thank you so much for hanging out today, Dalek. We'll see you next time. Have a good
Thank
dinner.
you. Thanks for letting me come on, Jill. It's been a pleasure.
It's good to
You're
see you,
welcome.
Dalek.
So see you all later. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
TTFN.
Back to the wedding. And kiss. Big Timor says Merlin must polish his helmet a lot. Look at that light bouncing off of it. He must have massive forearms.
Indeed.
And so we meet Percival.
Percival.
I like Percival.
So do I.
Percy.
Except for what he does to the bunny. I know they gotta eat. They don't really have much of a choice, and I have cows and stuff. So it makes sense.
As long as we don't show this to Bunny Mom Ambrosia, I think we're good.
I only showed it for a half a second.
Well, in actual factual, apparently they used a real rabbit.
Well, hopefully they ate it.
Like yeah, I would assume that they did. Craft services, yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
My cats will not leave me alone, guys. 1 second. What do you want? Come on.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Feline updates.
And Mikey says, "Did you see my comment about Blessed as the Hawkman leader?"
From Flash Gordon, yeah. Thank you, Mikey.
And Admiral Teague says, "I sometimes dream of things that come to pass." And you're right. Morgana can also has the sight as well as, so she's got her divination, her potions, and her herbology. She's A+ student at Hogwarts if she went to Hogwarts. Dalek's not here anymore, and the only other Harry Potter fan. Okay.
Now, I'm not versed in Harry Potter, but didn't Hogwarts exist as early as the days of Arthurian?
Yes, and Merlin was Slytherin.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so it
Merlin
was
always had an ulterior motive.
he did, but it was also to show that not everybody in Slytherin was straight up bad, like evil. Merlin's not evil, but he does have he is self-interested and ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
Big T Moore says Merlin must polish his helmet. Oh yeah, I read that. I subbed you.
Wow, if you're gonna subscribe to everybody, why don't you go ahead and give me a like, sub?
Yeah, subscribe to Tony too.
I'm on the road to 200, so
I
can do all of the stuff.
I had Dalek here, and I didn't have him do any Dalek noises. So.
I know. I could pitch in right quick. Exterminate! Exterminate!
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Phantom Boomer says a lot of Arthur stories are done in medieval setting, inspired by Lamont.
Le Morte d'Arthur.
By Thomas Mallory the First.
Admiral Teague says Merlin only has the helmet because the actor backed out of shaving his head. This was last minute prop.
The skull cap.
Mm-hmm.
I want that skull cap.
For polishing?
To wear. I mean, come on. I would wear that to work. We have a person that wears freaking raccoon ears to work. I would totally rock that skull cap.
Well, you know the dress code. Admiral Teague says Merlin only has the helmet. And let's see, let's stop rereading chats. Phantom Boomer says if there was an actual historical Arthur, he was considered to be a Welsh leader who fought against the Saxons in post-Roman Britain. Oh.
See, and thank you, Boomer. I'm not familiar with the actual sort of historical influences or the history, really. This is all fascinating to me. I look at it just through the prism of the legend itself.
Mm-hmm. I could see Nicol Williamson as Palpatine. Am I right? Says Admiral Teague. What?
You mentioned that.
Did he? I don't remember that.
Just in terms of the casting and the influence towards Lucas, but yes. And again, I'm thinking more as a guardian to Arthur. So I'm sort of, I see. If anything, if not an Obi-Wan character, then perhaps a Qui-Gon character, an impish Jedi. But no, I see him more interested in the good as he wants to unite the land under one king. Not to overthrow. And he even says to Uther at the very beginning, he says the sword is to be wielded not for hacking and aggression. So
for healing. It's for healing.
Right. And so I don't, and he has no real aspirations towards the throne, only to guide man and usher his own existence out from the many gods so that the one God who wishes to push out the many.
Right. The idea that these kinds of wizards are kind of like gods or angels is in Lord of the Rings too, and how they influence mortals.
Yes. Yes.
And Victor Fontaine also thinks the skull cap is cool. And Dalek 451, he's still watching.
Hooray!
It's only a model. Shh. It's classic comics. Oh, right. There's lots of model work in this movie, apparently, which would be really cool to find out about.
Hey, classic comics. I think he's making a reference to the whole Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's like, don't be too advanced. It's only a model, because they do sort of fourth wall break. And it's a great movie. Again, another great companion piece. And later on, when we see the fall of the land, when Arthur grows ill at the loss of the Grail, you can almost see sort of the impoverished peasants toiling in the mud.
Most likely, he's a composite of several leaders at the time. Oh, Arthur?
Makes sense.
But still, the legends are lots of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what they say about Shakespeare, is that he's really a whole bunch of different authors. But I don't know what I believe.
Whole lot of different Arthurs?
Authors.
That's how the British pronounce it. Author.
So then I wasn't wrong.
Right.
Admiral Teague says if there was a historical Arthur, he probably he'd probably be a wild man in bearskin based on the time frame. And right, just like Scotty R37 said at the beginning, they wouldn't have had these metal armors.
Yeah, the plate armor is a bit advanced for the particular time period that this is supposed to take place in. I mean, those alchemy laboratories as well are also very early Renaissance. So it's like kind of, you just gotta suspend the disbelief for the technological advancements and just enjoy the story for this one. But then again, all legends are like that. So, you know.
Yeah, and I enjoy the story. That's what's important. And whatever they can teach us about ourselves and humanity is really what they're for. Phantom Boomer says, we're Knights of the Round Table.
We're Knights of the Round Table. We dance whenever we're able. We do routines and chorus scenes with footwork impeccable. Down here in Camelot.
That was the perfect thing to sing for this scene.
I do a pretty decent Knight of Knee impersonation I'll do after we're done with the film.
Okay. What? Oh, Scotty R37, could you read this, please?
Mikey Sue's 4 says, what I said was Sam Jones, who played Flash Gordon, was a subtle actor who I met as an extra on the Highwayman TV series 1987 to 1988, and I partied with his sidekick, Jacko, after a Sting concert. There is too much awesome in that one comment. That is awesome, Mikey. That is wicked cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, there are some, we have other friends also who were background actors here on YouTube. I think Philip Gaming, and there's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Hall was a child actor in something, and he said he and I are supposed to, at some point, I need to do an interview for him. This was something I promised him in the chat at Friday Night Frolics a month or so ago.
Oh, great. And Liam Neeson foreshadowing Phantom Menace by losing a duel. Daniel's Hot Topic says, thanks for being a friend, Scotty R37 and Jill. I'm so sick of people who turn on a dime and betray for the dumbest things.
Who's people who did that, Daniel? What?
When I was reading that, I didn't realize it was going to be a drama thing, but yeah.
Oh, the dramas.
None
the
is
drama.
there.
The YouTube drama.
Oh,
cheers, Daniel.
Yeah, screw that.
Yeah, no, don't worry about the drama. We're here to have fun.
Yeah.
Admiral T says, we have Renaissance level armor 800 years early.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
More.
Daniel.
No, let's not talk about
Daniel.
her.
I'm going to give you the advice that I had recently learned myself the hard way. The more you indulge yourself in YouTube drama, the less successful you will be, not just for yourself, but for those around you. You got to learn to separate that church from state, sir.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, the joy
I
is
agree.
you can hang out with the people that you like, and you don't have to hang out with the ones that you don't. And so, Daniel, it's a pleasure to hang out with you. I have no quarrels.
Right. Whoever you can have, exactly what Scotty said.
Mm-hmm.
I can't improve on that at all. Mikey says
it was wicked cool. You had me at the Highwayman.
Excalibur.
Yeah, Excalibur. We're at the part of the movie where everything is still kind of nice. They're having lots of crops and there's peace, but it's not going to last long from this point.
And speaking of drama, Liam Neeson is wasted. Arthur is celebrating the fact that there's been peace in the land, the crops are in abundance, and everything is going tickety-boo, except for some of the information that Morgana has fed to Liam Neeson, I forget the name of Liam Neeson's character.
Yeah, I wonder, did she do some magic to make Lancelot and Guinevere do what they do?
No,
No, or
I
is
don't
it-
think
No,
so.
it was definitely a speechcraft led bug
Okay,
in the ear. She's
it
like,
was just
"Here,
like
let me put this bug in your ear."
manipulation.
Yeah. No, we don't get to see her flex her magic muscles till a little bit
Okay.
later on.
Okay, so this is something that existed that she probably noticed, and she
Yeah.
just encouraged it.
Mhm.
Because when they right before the wedding, Lancelot does tell Guinevere that he loves her as his queen, but that he says he's a loyal friend at that point.
Well, and one of the things that I was reading about is that this is sort of the annual feast to celebrate the prosperity of the kingdom. And Lancelot doesn't attend these, and it's not because he doesn't want to. It's that he is being chased and sort of staying away from Camelot so that he doesn't act upon his lust. And so that is why the aspersions and the observations of Morgana are whispered to Gawain or Gawain.
Yes,
Sir Gawain.
and all of that isn't really shown. They kind of just tell you.
Yeah.
And and we don't know what's happening until Liam Neeson gets upset about it.
But it's also this is also one of those things that I can sort of understand where Teague is coming from in terms of Merlin being a Palpatine-esque figure, because he already knows, he already saw what was going to happen. You'll be betrayed by a friend. If you fall in love with this woman, you will be betrayed by a friend. And Arthur, not necessarily the sharpest sword in the armory, is like, well, where could this evil be? And it's like, dude, I told you about this the night you ate the edible. No wonder you don't understand.
Yeah, but that does come back later.
Just gives him the cup. Oh, evil. Don't worry about such things, darling.
Mm-hmm.
And he won't even drink from the cup. It's almost Klingon. Don't drink with your enemies, or don't take a drink with from the cup of an enemy. And this is where the rift, the divide between Arthur and Guinevere starts to sort of show, the cracks in the relationship, where Arthur puts his kingdom before his queen. Look at Morgana. Yeah, you go get him. You go get him, Gawain.
Coincidentally enough, my favorite Arthurian legend is the Tale of the Green Knight. Because of this very reason, the subtle dishonesties that can happen in the land of the chivalrous.
Well, and that's when they say, because Arthur asks and says, what is the greatest virtue of a knight? And Merlin just says, and he thinks about it, and then he just says, truth. Truth is what is most important. And you knew that. And yeah, so with the Green Knight, I'm a big fan of the Black Knight, starring Martin Lawrence. That's my favorite.
The ride through.
Oh, there was another.
Gallop up, get your meal. Sorry. It's a guilty pleasure movie. I mean, there's a reason why I play Skyrim sometimes with fast food mods, and the reason why is because of the Black Knight.
If you enjoy it, there's no reason to feel guilt.
And there's another line like that, Scotty, about truth, when Merlin says that whenever a knight lies, a part of the earth dies.
Is murdered.
Is murdered. Thank you. And Victor Fontaine says this was Liam Neeson's third film out of the 102 he has done.
Yes.
Wow, so this is very early in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Phantom Boomer says Nigel Terry didn't do a ton of films. He primarily liked the stage, but died young at 69.
Yes. Not as young as Mordred, though. I found out Mordred, who we'll be introduced to later after the amazing romantic scene. But he passed away at the age of 43. I was taken aback by it because I was like, oh man, I'm older than Mordred. or older than he would have been when he passed
Mhm.
away.
Oh.
And Daniel's Hot Topics, yes, this was made in 1981.
This was the beginning. It isn't one of the beginning fantasy films of the 80s, but the 80s is known for some very aesthetic 80s fantasy, like the fantasy genre. We got Conan the Barbarian that I think came out at that time. Legend with Tom Cruise. I think that was one of Tom Cruise's first movies. It's very, very. There was an aesthetic to it that I enjoy. Like if I look at like a fantasy film, even as recent as Dragonheart, and that movie is now dated. It's just isn't the same vibe that you get watching these films from this decade.
And the double bill that I got for the Blu-rays, the next one that I have to watch is Dragon Slayer. I've never seen
Dragon Slayer is good. Beastmaster's good too. If you haven't seen that one, Beastmaster's amazing.
Cool. Donnie Pearson is here. Hello, Donnie Pearson. He says, Midnight's Edge raid. Oh, awesome. Love
Hail.
Midnight's Edge.
Ahoy.
Hello, Anti-Derivatives, Jill, Scotty, Sir Anthony, and all. Hope everyone is happy and glorious on this Friday since the coronation of King Charles III.
How thematic. We're talking about the crowning of a king during the crowning of a king.
Right, exactly. Oh, and so this is the part where we find out that Lancelot is indeed in love with Guinevere. Lord, we are innocent, but not in our hearts.
Yeah. Now, judging by the hilt of that sword he's holding, that looks like the Sword of Peace.
Which is kind of cool that they even just reference it. If it was something that was a plot point that was sort of excised from the film in the edit, I do appreciate that there are visual cues to it so that the people who are really knowledgeable about the legends can say, well, they didn't say it, but they did show it. And so I'm sated in my knowledge of the lore.
Right. They show a lot that I'm sure I completely missed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't say placating the fans. I'd say it's just satisfying the fans and going, yeah, we know what you're thinking. We know what you're talking about, and we appreciate you.
Well, yeah, like maybe placate was the wrong word.
Yeah.
And he has a dream where he fights himself.
Yes.
That's also a thing that they do in Star Wars.
Bum nudity.
Yeah.
Well, it's Lancelot versus his ego is what this is supposed to represent. You have Lancelot as his true self without armor or anything versus his innate desire.
He's trying to purge himself of his love of Guinevere.
Yes.
And it's a great effect when he pierces himself with the sword as well. It doesn't look like a special... Obviously, it was a special effect, but it was really well done because it sort of runs him through. But... yes, we have to find a champion for the queen because Arthur won't do it. He won't make the queen an object of conflict for the kingdom. And so Percival stands up, being the squire of Lancelot. But in the nick of time, Lance shows up.
Yeah, he does.
That's another thing that a lot of people don't know. It is the duty of the squire that if the knight that he has pledged himself to doesn't make an appointment for a challenge, especially one of honor or contest, the squire must step forward and go, well, in my lord's stead, I have to do this.
And in this case, he gets knighted for it.
Yep.
So that's pretty good.
Well, and also it must be a great honor for Percival to be knighted by King Arthur himself.
Yeah, and so Lancelot fights for the honor of Guinevere, and he wins. I don't really know how the strength of one man over another has any bearing on the guilt or innocence of the actions of a lady, but okay.
Well, they did. That is chivalry, true, tried and true chivalry. You know, a man fighting for the honor of his lady.
Right. And then after this, for whatever reason, Lancelot gets very sick. I guess he's sick from his injuries, and he doesn't have the will to live.
Well, he's
that's
still
gonna be this
wounded.
next scene. He's wounded. Yeah.
by his own hand.
Oh, that wasn't a dream. I wasn't sure what part was the dream. It's weird.
Well, it's the mysticism of it being a prophetic dream as well, and his desire to atone.
What must I do to purge these emotions? And
Right.
so he inflicts physical pain upon himself. And he even says later on in the movie, he says that first wound never healed. And it is, I like aside, well, yeah. So he refers to that. And his dying words being, he's going to be a queen again.
Yes. And that's right. They are King Arthur and Guinevere make up at the end, and they say, after he's done everything he's responsible for, that he'd come back for her, but that doesn't happen.
And so this is Lancelot, having defended the queen's honor, does hang out in Camelot, but then says, I got to go back to the forest because if I hang out here, things could get worse. And it is the first time that they've really, because she tends to the wound and then she goes and meets him in the forest. And this is where... What song is that?
I'm gonna love you just a little more, baby. Need you all night long. Very white.
And so Merlin is leaving. So Arthur hugs him because basically Merlin's been his mentor, his dad, kind of like his dad. Also, partially, probably it took a very big role in him being alive, because the chances that Arthur and Ygritte, or whatever her name was, would have a baby being together, Igraine, in one night would not be very likely. So there had to be some magic that night too.
Well, yeah, it made Gabriel Byrne look like the Duke.
Arthur doesn't. So Arthur, yeah, right. Arthur has to decide what to do about Lancelot and Guinevere on his own because Merlin's going away. He's like, I'm not. This world isn't about me anymore. I'm gonna go to another world. Another world.
Sail to Avalon. Sail to the sacred shores of Avalon, my friend.
Sacred shores of Avalon.
It's a Lord of the Rings reference. That's where they go.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes, I knew what that was.
Mm-hmm.
You're switching genres on me, and yes, of course.
I see a reference. I see a hook. I'm going to take it. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. That's great. That's where Frodo goes. He spent some time with Sam first before he leaves. That's great. It's a great, sad part of the movie.
Mm-hmm. The witch. You witch. Yeah.
Anonymous says Merlin looks like the wizard in Conan the Destroyer.
There are connotations and similarities. I do agree.
It's so weird. For the longest time, like when Conan O'Brien started hosting the Late Late Show, or Late Night with Conan O'Brien, everyone was like, it's not Conan. It's not Conan. And so now whenever I see Conan, I always say, oh, it's Conan the Destroyer. No, it's Conan. It's not Conan.
You were never meant to be a destroyer, Conan.
All right. Tasteful, sweet, sweet lovemaking in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happens. Meanwhile, we get to see Merlin's lair.
Oh, yes. It's oh so benevolent and altruistic lair.
Well, his Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and he's got a show going on.
Of course. enjoy the movie, Morgana. I'm going to go ahead and get us something to drink.
Well, up until this point, Morgana has been just wanting to learn from Merlin, and he I guess he's finally realizing she has ulterior motives because he's trying to trap her. And you really think that Arthur is going to murder Lancelot
Yeah.
here?
Bless you.
Dankeschön.
But Arthur doesn't kill them.
No, but leaves Excalibur, and this is the even when Lancelot awakens, and he's like, the king without Excalibur, that's a king without a land without a king, and so this is where things start to go south.
Yeah, things start to go south as soon as Morgana freezes Merlin.
Mm-hmm.
In the wall of ice, yes.
And her machinations become more and more apparent. A king without a sword.
Now she's actually flexing those magic muscles I was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so since he just leaves his sword there, so they know that he knows, so they're ashamed and they're regretful.
I appreciate how Guinevere is sort of remorseful of the entire relationship. Oh, here we go. This is definitely something that Arthur should swipe left on. But
Yeah.
I think that this would be an assault of some sort, a bikini area assault, which is unfortunate. But half sister and half brother.
Yeah, let's just
tab A,
yeah.
Slot B, and there it is.
Why
Conception,
did
my
I
friends.
Why did I make slides?
Well,
of
it's
any of that?
important to the plot. You've done Event Horizon. This is not worse than Event Horizon.
No, it's gross.
It's icky for sure, but it's not as bad as Event Horizon.
All right.
Oh my God! Did you just bring up
our low point? Then I don't get to be grossed out by anything.
What?
Carry on. Just carry on. Semper Fi.
Are you okay?
What
Oh
happened?
yes.
I'm
just you brought up Event Horizon in that scene, and I'm just like,
yeah, Event Horizon is worse than that scene. Okay. No, he lives.
And after this occurs, Arthur's sick. He's just sick. Makes sense. He's been. I'd be sick too.
Well, and one of the weird
scurvy.
See, that's the thing is that I don't know. Did you guys get when, like, Jill, when you watched the movie, because you've seen it more recently, not to leave you out, Tony, but when they don't really put any importance on the Grail before it is gone, they never talk about who took it or how it was like removed.
No, they just know it's something that Arthur needs. He's struck by lightning. He's sick. He's been assaulted.
Oh, is that what? Okay.
He's down and out.
Is that when they take the Grail? Is when he gets struck by lightning at the altar? That makes sense.
You know what? I don't know. Is anybody saying in the chat? Because I have a lot of chat. Okay, so I don't know.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll be caught up to speed. I do understand that. Yeah, now we're full into the
but they're looking
quest for
it.
the Grail.
Where'd it go? I don't know.
Yeah, we're on a road to nowhere. And yes, the knights are slowly being killed by Mordred. This is Mordred, the bastard son, played by Charlie Boorman, John Boorman's son, who you may recognize from The Long Way Around, Long Way Down with Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. We got another Star Wars reference, which is dope. And Percival is led into Morgana's lair to retrieve the Grail, but is taken to the Tree of Death, where he has visions of the Grail. And Who does it serve? Yeah. What does it serve? Mostly a Merlot. And this is the transition of time as the quest for the Grail continues. But
10 years.
10 years. And yeah, and then no weapon forged by man, no arrow, no lance, no pike, no spear can penetrate the armor that you wear, which is great foreshadowing because it isn't anything forged by man or
the armor
the
of fate.
sword. Well, I guess it would be nice. And the sun returns.
Yeah, he doesn't want love from his father. He wants everything else.
The final vanquishing of the knights.
Uran's. Well, there still are some knights, but of the knights who were questing for the Grail, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so Percival is the only one left of the ones who were looking for the Grail. And he's told never to give up, never surrender.
Never give up, never surrender.
I will do the Saris voice later.
You don't have to do Saris every time I talk about Galaxy Quest.
I feel like I must because you enjoy it so much.
I do, but you don't have to.
I am here to entertain, and
we get to see. True, we do get to see the townsfolk who are after 10 years in deep poverty, and they're attacking Percival, calling him Lancelot, and he's washed down the river.
Yeah, the nation is once again divided and poor, and it is as if things that once was has returned, as hope is all but lost. And with the loss of the knights.
Yeah, and Percival is the last knight looking for the Grail. He's washed down the river, removes his armor, shedding himself from the burden of it. I feel like there's some kind of symbolism here that I don't get, but I have to think about it.
Well, and also Arthur doesn't have Excalibur anymore as well.
Right. So he finds it.
He finds the Grail.
It's not easy.
He chose wisely. And so he takes the Grail to Arthur.
And I didn't know how empty my soul was until it was filled.
Would
and
this
was
be
a good one too.
A metaphorical return of the king?
In a lot of ways, yes.
Yes. Also, hello to Tiki of Doom in the chat. Great to see you today.
Hey, Tiki.
Yeah. I'm going to read one of... He says, "Howdy, I heard you mention Dragon Slayer. The final dragon scene is awesome. The main character also has a perm, which is an interesting choice."
Janosch from Ghostbusters 2. I do want to watch that. That's the next one on my quest through fantasy.
I have a pretty decent Vigo the Carpathian.
So they're going after Morgana and her son.
Time for the comeuppance.
What's his name again?
Mordred.
Yeah.
But we get the reuniting of Arthur and Guinevere, who has given herself over to a pious life to atone for her sins.
And he forgives her after 10 years. And more than just forgiving her, if he didn't have all these responsibilities, he'd be with her again. So that makes it extra tragic at the end.
The weight of the crown on the king, something heavy.
Oh, you want to read
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Sure, that sounds good. I'm not running for Knight of the Round Table, so I apologize for bastardizing the quote.
He says, I was not born to live a man's life, but to be the stuff of future memory. The fellowship was a brief beginning, a fair time that cannot be forgotten. And because it will not be forgotten, the fair time may come again. And she had Excalibur the whole time. That's good.
Yes. And also, we haven't seen Percival reunite with Lancelot yet, have we?
No. I don't think so.
Okay. Because he looks like a crazy man, a wild man.
No, they're just getting ready to battle
Wolfman Jack.
Mordred.
Where are you, Merlin? Does Arthur free Merlin from his prison by almost summoning him?
Through the power of love.
The power of love.
There we go. I am a dream to some, a nightmare to others.
I have returned, Enchantress Magnificent.
And
This is a great scene. This is
also,
probably the best.
You took all the magic you stole from me to keep yourself so young.
And then, reminds me of Batman Forever because we get nipples on the armor.
Oh, we do get bat nips.
He's manipulating her just like she's been manipulating other people by playing up her
ego
talent, saying her ego, correct. He defeats her this way. And so she overuses her magic. And it destroys her.
Oh, and the charm of making.
She's been using her magic to keep herself looking young, but now she's going to overuse it, and it's going to have an effect.
Although the pronunciation in the film has little relation to how the text would actually be pronounced in Irish, the most likely interpretation of the spoken words as Old Irish text is Anal nafrach of bias bethad do shel denma. In English, this can be translated to serpent's breath, the charm of death and life, thy omen of making. And then she starts to evacuate her lungs with a lot of smoke.
This is where Lancelot returns in the battle, during battle.
Yeah, with a great big bushy beard. Look at him.
For 10 years he's been growing it.
Well, and it's kind of fitting that the last time that we see Lancelot and the tragedy that he didn't have a king when we first meet him, and now he doesn't have a king and he gets that redemption again.
And yes, he does. And
and
Arthur confirms Guinevere is queen again.
Yes. And Mordred kills Morgana because she had withered away to an old hag.
She did.
By expelling the last of her
all of her magic is gone, and so she is too. He never taught her self-control, and so she didn't know how to do that. Yes.
And then we get the Star Trek Nemesis ending, where Arthur is pierced upon the pike, but moves forward upon it to slay Mordred with a sword not forged by man. And Arthur says, "Go throw this in a lake. There'll be some wet chick waiting for it." He doesn't say that, but he knows. He knows.
That's accurate.
Got to give it back to the Lady of the Loch from whence it came.
The Loch Ness lady.
Mistress. The Loch Ness mistress.
The Loch Ness. Actually, I think the lake, the name of it is, let's see here.
Delaware.
I like
is this the Delaware? I don't think
no, it's not. No, heavens.
Lady of the Lake. or Lady of the Loch.
Like
Doesn't
Kissimmee St.
say.
Cloud. And we
There's
do.
Arthur.
Percival returns to Arthur, saying that he has done the last command of Arthur's kingdom.
But
And
he's already on his barge.
on his barge on his way to the land of the dead.
I was wondering if
Which,
Guinevere is one of the nuns on the barge, but I don't know.
It would have been nice. It would have been nice to see that, but I think that they're more metaphorical. I don't think that there was actually a physical. Again, with the legend, the legendary. It's more of a symbolic. There we go.
They
Trevor
don't even
Jones with the
mention the
original
lake.
score.
They don't have a name for the lake even in the Winchester manuscript. That's crazy. You'd
Oh, you
think-
have a book about this. That's pretty cool.
I think it's just any pool of water that is still.
Yeah. Still waters.
Mm-hmm.
And Nigel Terry, King Arthur, Nicholas Clay as Lancelot, Cherry
Lungi.
Lungi as Guinevere, Paul Jeffrey as Percival,
No mercy.
Nicol Williamson as Merlin, Robert Addy as Mordred, Gabriel Bryan as Uther, Keith Buckley as Urins, Catherine Boorman. Oh yeah, Boorman. Yeah, as Igraine. Liam Neeson as Gawain. Corin Redgrave as Cornwall. Neil O'Brien as Kay. Patrick Stewart as Leon deGrasse. Clive Swift as Ector. And
Ciaran Hinds as Lot. You'll remember Ciaran Hinds from Ghost Rider 2.
and there were these actors too.
There were. And Jerry Mathers as the Beeve.
Starring Andy Griffith and Don Knotts.
On a very special Matlock. But yeah, for a first viewing, I really enjoyed it. I thought it, and I saw someone in the chat talking about the length of it. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. It is
the average length of a film nowadays.
Yeah. And it's an epic retelling of the legend, and I thought I was going to be somewhat bored by it, but never once.
I thought so too, and I wasn't.
I was taken by the tale. It was all very engaging. I was confused by some things, but that's also because I sort of gave myself over to not being an Arthurian scholar by any stretch of the imagination. Again, I just have a loose sort of pop culture knowledge of it, but I thought that this was absolutely fantastic, and it looked based in some form of magical realism that had me hooked. And as a person who doesn't necessarily loop the loop when it comes to fantasy, this held my attention. I liked everything about it. Yeah, I will watch this movie again. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I do like the mysticism, the natural magical element where it's not over the top by, spell slinging. It's more attuned to the lore of how magic was practiced and the pacts you had to make with other. The term is wights, and that's a Nordic term for just other beings. Doesn't necessarily have to be other human beings, just wights in general. Just, the pacts you have to make with other wights in order to be able to cast these spells.
Does it refer to like innocence?
No. A wight is just simply means a body or a being.
And if you want to convince yourself that magic used to exist, this movie can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Magic shouldn't be like a lot of people, they see magic and they see things like Harry Potter, not saying that Harry Potter is a bad franchise or anything, or, you play a game of the Elder Scrolls and you decide to be an archmage of the College of Winterhold by smacking people with a sword.
All right.
It's like.
It's a frivolous thing that you can throw around and it doesn't really have any effect in the universe. And I've
gravitas,
I've always thought about that with Harry Potter. Like when you summon objects and they disappear, and where did that matter come from, and where does it go?
It's a little bit more power needed to do things of that nature than just snapping your fingers and going hocus pocus. And you know,
Well, it being some sort of
Expelliarmus.
Alohomora.
being a person capable of medicine could be seen
Lombardo.
as sorcery, and so the healing powers and whatnot could be seen as magic by the lessers.
Mm-hmm.
Good movie.
Kitty.
Yeah.
Sing. Very good. There's my little kittens. Oh, yee.
And there's lots of other themes about the struggle of power and corruption,
The politics.
Avocado cadaver.
loyalty and honor, all this fun stuff.
Dalek casting that spell. Of course he would, because it's exterminating everything.
So Admiral Teague says, so without the sword and Merlin, the king and the land, as well as the people, go into decline.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
Well,
a
and there is-
representation of, without the benevolence of what is considered to be divine or mystical, people are left to their own devices, and it's usually not pleasant. That's what you take from that.
Well, it's cool when they when Arthur and the remaining knights and guards and whatnot ride through the countryside. You do see sort of the greenery start to bloom as Arthur has Excalibur again and going to make things right in the land.
That is true that the colors do change based on what is going on in the story, and also their armor. When things are bad, their armor is all messed up and broken and dirty. And when things get better, their armor gets better too.
Gets shiny.
And you're right, Tony. People do like to have some direction in life, and it makes sense. Tiki of Doom says hello to Mikey. And Admiral Teague says, the wall of ice is actually crystal. This is the Crystal Cave.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Subscribe to Gorilla's Random Thoughts. He was here in the chat earlier.
True.
And Raquel Briggs has some books. I like them. Well, she has one book. Actually, but she's writing another one. That would be fun.
If
Mikey.
tracking you are, yes, slacking you are, Backpack Yoda.
Oh,
Sorry,
my phone wants me to leave, but I don't want to go anywhere. But I want to try to read the chat and then head out if I can.
Absolutely.
Mikey says, one of the best scenes in the round table with the unity symbol of prosperity.
Mikey, was that in the middle of the table? Because that's so cool. I was wondering if that had significance. Nice.
And it did.
Again,
Thank you, Mikey.
I'm not much of a fantasy guy. And so
at a certain
the
point,
details are nice.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to know more of what I saw, what it meant. You know, I'd love to know all of that stuff. I know I didn't catch everything, definitely, because I'm not deep in the lore either, or the legend of it.
Well, it's funny. Once I finished watching the movie, preparing for this, went to the IMDb trivia page and then the Wikipedia, and I just went right over to what the actual legend was, and it's like, oh, this is gonna be a sit on the porch and peruse the legend.
Did you learn anything from your trivia?
Not a thing.
Oh, Admiral Teague says Mordred is Boorman's son, but the voice is that of one of his daughters dubbing the voice.
True.
Oh, so Admiral Teague's got the trivia. Thank you, Admiral Teague. Phantom Boomer says, oh, I have those motorcycle shows on DVD.
Really interesting. And the long way round, when Charlie Boorman and Ewan McGregor are going around, they found that the worst driving in the entire world was in Calgary, Alberta. So big shout out to Calgary.
In all the world. Wow.
Yeah.
How do you determine such a thing?
They got in 2 accidents in Calgary, if I remember correctly. And they were like, this is we've been all around the world where there are not finished roads. There aren't stop sign, no sign. But where we got into the most trouble was in Calgary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, people usually don't want to die. So usually they try to drive right. I know that they really have been driving a lot worse these days. So
Usually, you would think that the general consensus of just about every human being is I don't want to die, but
I would hope so.
the variances obviously are different.
Mhm.
But
Mike,
carry on.
okay.
I'll reel it in. Fuck, go.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
Mikey
you're
says,
expediting your
Holy Grail equals the cup of Jesus Christ present at the Last Supper.
Mm-hmm.
And Tiki Doom says this director also made The Exorcist 2, which is a terrible sequel that I still find oddly fascinating. It's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Dalek says, was this a very long movie? Yes, 2 hours and 20 minutes. With apparently 40 minutes that we've never seen. Phantom Boomer says, Charlie and Ewan did a third motorcycle trip in Long Way. Traveled from Argentina to Los Angeles on electric Harleys.
Oh, cool.
And Daniel's Hot Topic says, Scotty, guess what Nicolas Cage will be shown as? His Superman? Oh, Nicolas Cage will be shown as his Superman that never was in Superman Lives from the 90s that never happened, but it will in the multiverse. What?
Interesting.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Sorry. Interesting would have been a better response. Thank you.
What? Who the hell is Nicolas Cage?
No, I know who Nicolas Cage is, but what does he have to do with Superman?
Oh, he was supposed to be Superman in a Tim Burton directed Superman movie from the late 90s.
Oh, okay, that explains it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Cheers.
Oh no, I just heard some bad news. Oh, your friend's
no.
dog died. I'm so sorry.
Well, on the plus side, all dogs do go to heaven.
I do.
You can't
Absolutely.
keep a good dog down. Wow.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a good movie. I really love it. Great one.
Wasn't I supposed to do a Night of Knee?
Oh yeah, you wanted to.
Yeah.
Dalek451 says, GD, if you ask me, a movie doesn't need to be that long. Between 1.5 and just over 2 hours is long enough. Any more than that is overindulgence.
But again, this one doesn't overstay its welcome. It's actually rather it moves. It doesn't feel as long as, like, even when I was watching it, I was like, wow, we're done. I didn't think that was 220.
Mikey says Bob Ringwood, one of Hollywood's greatest costume designers after Edith Head and others. Oh wow, thanks for that insight. Because I did go through all of the credits in the movie, and I'm surprised to get responses about the production people on the movie. That's cool. Classic Comics says one of the absolute favorite films since I was a kid, the standard for fantasy before Jackson's Rings trilogy. And it would have been neat to see what he would have done with that.
Classic Comics. I love your avatar. Is that the Phantom of the Paradise? That's great.
Mikey says, can you read what Mikey says, Scotty?
Yeah, fun movie facts. Early films till the 80s used continuity, then later negative cutter, and now it's digital colorist. Interesting. That is a fun movie fact.
That is very fun. I didn't know those different terms.
Avocado radicchio.
Avada Kedavra.
I can't spek Spanish.
Where are the knights who say
That's
Avada Kedavra?
Yeah, so that's the murder spell in Harry Potter.
Oh.
The very same.
So that was just a variation on exterminate. Mikey loves Daleks. And Edgetime says, if tracking you aren't, slacking you are. Backpack Yoda. Oh yeah, somebody read that chat for me earlier.
Help you, I can.
You did help me. I didn't even realize that. You did a good job.
He watched the Chronicles.
That's the crux of what Daniel was trying to say. He wants Nicolas Cage as Superman.
Would have been interesting. Hey,
Captain Infinity says, "This is one of my favorite films ever. I would have loved to talk about it."
Did you get a notification?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's too bad you're showing up at the end.
Oh.
Yeah, right. I know. I didn't make an announcement yesterday or anything. Sorry. Daniel's Hot Topic says James Gunn Superman Legacy will be so bad I'm already throwing up and my skin is crawling. That's Daniel's Hot Topics. Hot take.
Have hope. Have hope.
Mikey says, "Hello, Captain Infinity. I couldn't get to your YouTube website. Oh no. Oh, maybe the link is different. Yeah, okay. So I didn't update the link. I need to do that. I'll work on that today."
Subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about Jill's channel as well. Almost at the 4.
All right. Yeah, subscribe. Yeah, right. Yeah, so maybe I should change it to that banner.
Daniel's Hot Topic says, one of the best movies ever made is Halloween the Night. He Came Home, and the sequel was good too. I'm not familiar.
Tony, could you read this one?
Hey, Tim.
Yeah, sure. King Arthur yielded Excalibur after our epic duel in the thunderous rainy battle on Mount Olympus to
No.
Allow me to read this in a voice much more fitting. One moment, please. And Dr. Evil, I need your assistance. Which is it? You owe me $5. Now read the chat. King Arthur yielded me Excalibur after our epic duel in the thunderous rainy battle on Mount Olympus to find Luke Skywalker. Merlin can just confirm. Just text him. That makes no sense. How about no?
I like it.
Well done. Phantom Boomer says cadaver, and
Yeah.
Dog 451 says, "Yep, that's the killing curse from Harry Potter. It's Voldemort's favorite spell, and Bellatrix's favorite spell is Crucio because she'd rather torture you than kill you."
Yes.
Phantom Boomer says, "I didn't get a notification until after it started. Stupid YouTube."
Don't forget to ring the bell. Hey, Cam.
Hi, Cam. Hello, everyone. Anti-derivative Jill.
Oh, look, it's Cam.
Yeah, Cam has one of the best jobs today. He's house sitting. Oh, the house I got kicked out from. I should have read the whole thing. I'm so sorry. That's the worst job then. What the
I'm
heck?
taking care of a cat too, but
Cam, eat everything in the fridge. Everything in the fridge.
It sounds like you
do me a solid, Cam, and come hang out with us on Friday Night Frolics. I'll buy you a super chat for Doomcock to sing your favorite song, and then meet me on Sunday during live from New York, and I'll sing that for you there too. You need it, so I got you.
Yeah. Dang, Cam. I hope you can be cheered up this weekend with lots of fun with friends. Phantom Boomer says, "I like any movies Arthur related."
Nice. Okie dokie, Smokey.
And Daniel's Hot Topics is waiting for a Dr. Evil movie. Was that going to happen?
Don't make me. I'll do one.
Too bad. I had no idea it was on. Okay, I'll do better next time. See what happens is I think of these live streams last minute, and then I got to work on them, and then by the time I post
my curse, Jill.
By the time I do, you do that too. Just last minute decisions.
Yes. I just slap it together and hope it works.
Yeah, I'm a very prompt person, but not to the extent of telepathy. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you know what? I'll listen to you talk about Excalibur if you want to talk about it. Cam says, "Hi, available tonight. House sitting cat. I'll be there if I can. Thanks, everyone." And Mikey says, "My two girls love us. Black Persian, Deja Vu, Pie." Oh, okay, cute. Oh, those are the names of the kitties. And he loves when Dr. Evil joined Austin Powers. So that's our look into Excalibur today. I hope that it was a good one.
I had fun. It was a good
Yeah.
movie, and I'm glad I got to talk about it afterwards.
It was a good movie about Britain filmed in Ireland, where the filming, they had to deal with a bunch of weather, but they got through it. And yeah, Liam Neeson had very little experience with sword fighting and had to undergo intensive training to prepare.
He also got a Helen Mirren out of the deal.
Oh, right. Well, that was worth all the work then.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you so much for having Jill. This is great. I enjoy the Fridays.
Me too. I enjoy it too. But we're going to be back to sci-fi on Tuesday, and so I'll leave you guys with a preview for next week, which will be Wolf in the Fold. Hopefully, this one is it. So before we go, Scotty, what's coming up for you?
The Phantasmagorium, we're smack dab in the middle of the Spideyverse, so we're talking about the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 shortly.
Oh, I never seen this.
And then next Wednesday, I think we're doing Spider-Man Homecoming. And we're back on our Quantum Leap discussions. We're going to be starting off season 3 next Thursday, hovering around. What time is it around, Jill? Around 6 o'clock? No,
Yeah,
6 o'clock East Central.
6:30 Central. Yes, I'm thinking 6:30, cool. Or maybe 6.
It'll be on Thursday evening.
6 Central. Let's say 6.
Wicked cool.
And Tony, what you got coming up this weekend?
We'll have a short review. Trying to make it 30 minutes long. It'll be my first salvaging run series where I just you'll see me hopping around the wasteland doing stuff while I review a particular topic, movie, or news post. Then I will have my Sunday stream.
What's it? Which game?
Marvel's Avengers.
Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah, now that they made all the MCU skins free, and so I can actually do stuff with it. It is low effort but high yield content, I'm hoping. Then I have another video that has been ultimately delayed, but I'm working on about temporal displacement and all of the things thereof. And on Sundays, to quote Mikey Susie 4 later on in the chat, he says, Tony, your impressions are extraordinary. Say that like a Brit. Emily, it's time for your pedicure. Or do you want something more like this? Tony, your impressions are extraordinary. Hey, has anybody seen Yoko? There's multiple Brits you can, you got to be a little bit more specific. But if somebody wants to post my channel, I'm sure that Mikey will enjoy my show on Sunday. Subscribe up if you haven't already, and we'll be sure to accommodate you. Anywho, yes, I will have my stream on Sunday at the normal time, and talking about whatever and whomever and whatchamacallit and etc. Hey, Mikey likes it. Mikey likes it. Well, thank you. I do work on a lot of limey accents in my time. It's Mr. Hyde now. But that's all I had, I believe.
Alrighty. Thank you so much for sharing your channel. And if you're looking for something to do right now, Captain Infinity's going live. Bird of Prey 5 is going live. So you got your options. Fun stuff.
I'm going to go see what the outside is like.
Oh, right. Yes. I got something for that. I could probably play the audio for it.
Cool.
You reminded me of that. But I need to make sure it is what I think it is before I play it.
Yes, we don't want to see Morgana and Arthur again, if that's the clip.
And by that, we kind of sort of want to. Wait, what?
No. Gwen and Lancelot would be dope.
I had to. It was the lowest hanging fruit, and I had to pick it.
Big fan of the brother-sister love.
Okay, you know what? Why do my live streams have to end like this?
It's all contextual to the movie. Anyway.
It is. Great movie. Great discussion. I'm so happy you guys were here to talk to me about it, because this would not be as fun without you. So Hope to see you guys again. And everybody in the chat made it awesome as well. Thank you. I'll see you guys
Yeah.
next time.
Cheers.
Bye now.
Captain's log, stardate 3614.9. Mr. Scott has fallen under suspicion of having brutally murdered an Argelian woman.
She's dead, Jeff.
You. And you.
They were to be married.
Prefect, I didn't kill anyone. I couldn't.
How could any man do such monstrous things?
I swear to you, I did not kill your wife or the other ladies.
Fear, anger, hatred. Anger feeds the flame. Oh, there is evil here. Monstrous, terrible evil. Hatred of all that lives. Hatred of women. Reshak!